Whoa, guys, take a look at this option order today for Tesla. You have seen a positive order value of 93% today. Meet Kevin says a short squeeze for Tesla stock could be incredible. And if the short position alone went to zero, Tesla stock could break all-time highs. Now this is right up my alley. We're gonna break down this report, if you will, by Meet Kevin, share his opinion and my opinion on the current state of Tesla stock and whether or not we could soon experience a short squeeze. Soon does not mean tomorrow or next week or next month. But some point in the next 1 to 6 months, could we see a rally that could send us to all-time highs? I think you're going to be excited by what we share with you here in this video. We're going to look at a whole spiel of different things for Tesla and talk about a bunch of things you're just not going to hear on any other channel. So first things first, Meet Kevin actually shared this post from the Kabasi letter. This says most shorted stocks by dollar amount. Tesla's obviously number one at 16.9 billion. They have RTX at 9.1 billion. I'm not going to argue the numbers are false here, but stocks like Microsoft and Apple have much larger short positions than RTX. This is not exactly accurate from the source of this argument. Even the number on Tesla is not exactly accurate at 16.9 billion. The number is actually much higher than that. The dollar amount that is sold short in Tesla stock today is $18.23 billion. But that post was correct. Tesla is by far the most heavily shorted stock on our markets. And it has been for many years. That's why in general, Tesla tends to be a very volatile stock. It tends to have a high beta. If the NASDAQ goes up 1%, Tesla tends to go up 2 to 5%. If the NASDAQ falls 1%, Tesla tends to go down 2 to 5%. It's simple. It's a heavily shorted stock. It's a heavily focused retail name, so it moves big. You could see Tesla move $15 or $20 in a single day, and that's a pretty common occurrence. Now, Tesla stock has seen many periods of short squeezes, but it looks a little bit different because Tesla doesn't go up 10x in value. It goes up 30, 40, 50, 60+%. Examples of which were the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020. Tesla stock went from about $26 per share up to $64 per share. Back here in summertime of 2020, Tesla went from 60 to 121. Back here in November of 2020, Tesla went from 150 all the way to about 295 by the start of 2021. Again, back here, the end of 2021, Tesla went from around 270 all the way to 415. Back here in 2022, in March, Tesla went from 250 to about 380. And back here in January of 2023, we kind of understand this. This is recent history. A lot of this has been short squeeze during different moments of time. It's more like mini short squeezes than one big short squeeze. And I think that's what Meet Kevin is really alluding to. There could be a short squeeze to end some of these small short squeezes where you get a squeeze, the stock falls. You get a squeeze, the stock falls. I think that is actually correct. I think over the next couple of months, you will see Tesla stock at new all-time highs. My reason is a little bit different and I think more concise. Meet Kevin's explanation of this is a little bit more simple. He says in 2022, Elon Musk sold about $24 billion worth of stock to finance his X-Buy. The stock fell 65% or 229 points. Now there are 16.9 billion in shorts, 70% of Elon's sale. It's close to 80% of Elon's sale because the real dollar amount sold short is over $18 billion, but you get the idea. He says an unwinding of these shorts with rough math could support a $160 upside to Tesla, pushing Tesla to $395 per share. That does not consider funds going long as rates come down and retail going more long as rates come down. So solely the short amount evaporating could support Tesla moving to nearly $400 a share in his opinion. And me, Kevin, actually got some pushback from this. Alexandra, very popular in this community. She says, "No, Kevin, love you, but this is too optimistic. We publish tomorrow our short analysis, but in short, no pun intended, it's too little to really amount to a short squeeze. Only 3.7% of the float. Biggest net seller has not even 1.5 billion in short position." This is a very false conception I hear all of the time. You cannot see a short squeeze if only 3% or 5% or 6% of the float is sold short. That is far from correct. That is false. See, there's many different things that go into a potential short squeeze. All short squeeze stocks are a little bit different. But what really matters the most is what kind of losses are shorts taking, right? If 3% of the float is sold short on a stock that is at all-time lows, that's different than 3% of the stock being sold short when short sellers have taken 80 to 100% losses already. If you obviously need to see a catalyst in which that kickstarts that, Cybertruck delivery event, maybe rates going down, 10-year treasury yields going down, better than expected news in which we're getting basically every single day. Well, when you start to get a rally from there, every $10 or so of an increase for Tesla stock, $10, $15, causes about $1 billion worth of losses for the shorts. So if you get a big move higher, short sellers start to get squeezed. Does that turn into a full-blown short squeeze? That's where it gets a little bit tricky. It has nothing to do with the percentage of the float that is sold short. Yeah, on some smaller stocks, right? Don't expect Tesla to be 20, 30, 40% short, like a Beyond Me or some other, multi-$100 million company will be. It's just not going to happen. The total amount of short positions on our markets is around 950 billion. Tesla stock accounts for over 2% of the entire short position on our markets, and it's only 3% sold short. That's because Tesla is a very large market cap company. It has nothing to do of whether or not you get a short squeeze based on the percentage of the float that's sold short. One, you could also make the argument a lot of the shares that are out there, the over 3 billion shares that are authorized to be floating out there, most of them are being held on to and they're not actively trading. So what's the real short interest in that case? You could argue it's a lot higher. I'm not going to get into speculation here in this video, but the main difference this time around, because I do want to talk about other things, the main thing that I think is different this time around is Tesla has been decreasing prices for so long. The business has really not given people what they have wanted for a while. That should change in 2024 as margins bottom and start to recover, as Tesla raises prices, as we get FSD entering into China in December or January, potentially a licensing deal for FSD coming here as well in 2024. Many other different catalysts that are going to be coming. You are a fool to be short in Tesla right now. You would have to be betting that we're going to see a massive recession to even make any logical sense to be short in Tesla right now. Tesla will benefit the most out of any other company that I can find when rates go lower. That's not something you want to bet on. That's something that will help Tesla stock dramatically in 2024. And that's exactly the point. When you get short sellers that say, hey, Tesla stock's not getting worse from here, we should cover on our short positions. When you get other inflows into Tesla, when people finally realize Tesla's proving everyone wrong, there's going to be a lot of money flowing into Tesla. There's going to be a lot of shorts covering. There's going to be the potential of a gamma squeeze at that moment in time because people are going to go out and buy options as well. So it's a bunch of different factors that will come together over the next 1 to 6 months. I really think within the next 1 to 3 months, I think by January, if not by February of 2024, the marketplace is going to realize they're dead wrong on Tesla, and Tesla stock could potentially hit new all-time highs shortly thereafter. But it's a combination of these effects that I expect will take place in 2024. So yeah, I actually agree. Tesla stock could easily hit $400 per share at some point next year. I believe sooner rather than later. Some of this will be based upon shorts getting squeezed out of short positions. What's the deciding factor whether or not you cover on a short position and actually buy your stock back? Two things. Either you're forced to cover on a short position when you are losing so much money your fund is potentially in jeopardy of going bankrupt and shutting down. That doesn't happen all the time. That's pretty dang rare. Matter of fact, you have to take on a lot of risk to be put in that situation. It doesn't happen a lot, and it surely doesn't happen with Tesla as much as it might with some other stock that goes up, 10, 20, 30x during a short squeeze. Different ballpark here. The other reason is if the foreseeable future just looks like we've been through the worst. If 2023 looks like the worst for Tesla and 2024 is going to be better, it doesn't make sense to be in your short position because you're just going to continue to lose money. And then you have to pay cost to borrow fees, just a fee to have a position short in Tesla. And that just makes the situation even worse. So let me know what you think about this down below in the comment section. Now let's get into your other Tesla stock news that you need to know, including the data coming out tomorrow and what Gary Black just said about Tesla stock. Whoa, guys, take a look at this option order today for Tesla. You have seen a positive order value of 93% today from hedge funds and institutions, totaling $1.61 billion. And comprising this is 623 different trades from hedge funds and institutions. This is by far one of the most positive days I've seen from big money in Tesla options in a long time. The average price of an EV is now lower than the average price of an ICE vehicle in China, Europe, and India, and is expected to be in the US next year, according to the Wall Street Journal. In another win for Tesla, a U.S. labor board has dismissed claims that Tesla illegally fired employees working on autopilot software at a New York factory to put an end to union organizing. Gary Black says one can't compare Tesla to other EV stocks because none of them make money and most are headed towards bankruptcy. In addition to the Twitter purchase, Tesla stock has also been hurt by Tesla management's decision to cut EV prices by an average of 18% year over year, which has generated almost no change in volume growth. 2023 Tesla volume estimate still 1.8 million, unchanged from before the price cuts, and caused 2024 earnings estimates to collapse by 43% year over year. And that's what you can see here in this picture from the Bloomberg terminal. Now, you know what's going to happen coming next year? Well, Tesla's going to crush these estimates and go dramatically higher as interest rates do come down. And that supports a higher multiple. But when Tesla's earnings actually come in, much better than what we're currently expecting, around $4 per share for 2024, yeah. The growth to Tesla stock price is going to be impressive. Now, tomorrow morning, we're also going to get a lot of data. Coming out at 9 o'clock in the morning, S&P Case-Shiller home price year over year and month over month, house price index for September, house price index month over month, and house price index year over year. All of that data comes out at 9 o'clock in the morning. At 10 o'clock in the morning, CB consumer confidence for November comes out. Fed Goolsbee speaks at 10 a.m. Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index for November comes out at 10 a.m. Richmond Fed Manufacturing Shipments Index comes out at 10 a.m. And then Richmond Fed Services Index comes out at 10 a.m. At 10:05 a.m., Fed Waller speaks, and at 10:30 a.m., Dallas Fed Service Index comes out. Dallas Fed Services Revenue comes out at 10:30. Fed Bowman speaks at 10:45. And then you have a 7-year bond auction at 1 p.m. These are not necessarily huge data points, but they're like secondary data points. They're not small like surveys. They are substantial data points, right? The Dallas Fed, Richmond Fed, you're looking at different districts of the US instead of what you might look at for like services for the entire US. It's just for districts. That's kind of the best way to put it. Consumer confidence will be very important. That tends to lead to more or less spending, which can affect GDP, which will affect the odds of a recession or not. So that'll be important. And then at 1 p.m., that 7-year bond auction, that's another big one. That is going to affect your 10-year treasury yield, which in fact did really good today. 10-year treasury yields dropped about 10 basis points to 4.40%. The big level to be watching tomorrow is your 50-day moving average. We want to see Tesla stock close above $236.44. Tesla is currently at $236 per share. So you're just under that right now. And we did see a big move from the lows today to the highs. But then you did have that speech from Joe Biden that came out that caused stocks to fall, and that was not exactly positive for Tesla as well. It caused Tesla to fall almost 1%, or else it looks like we would have closed above that 50-day moving average. Tesla stock here in extended hours is at $236.25. You're actually up about 0.1% heading into tomorrow, just under your 50-day moving average currently. So I expect we'll break this to the upside tomorrow. I'm sure bond yields will continue to trend downwards towards about 4%, and that will continue to be positive for Tesla. Now, if you break above about 250, in between 250 and 260, if you break into the 270 range, you're in uncharted territory. Because why? Your long-term downtrending line of resistance will be broken right at about that point, at about $259 per share currently. And that could set you up to a run for all-time highs, just based on long-term trend lines being broken. Right? A long-term bearish trend line getting broken usually turns into an substantial upside move. And I would expect that to be no different, given the lineup of many different catalysts we have from now until the end of this year and in 2024. Not to mention the Cybertruck delivery event on Thursday. We're already expecting not great things for the Cybertruck. We're already expecting it to hurt Tesla's margins for a while. I think a lot of bad news is already priced in for the Cybertruck. I don't think it's going to take a lot of good news for Tesla stock to react positively following the Cybertruck. And I would actually be more concerned about Thursday's Cybertruck delivery event if Tesla stock sells off into it. It's kind of like a stock that's going to report bad earnings, like really bad earnings. A lot of the time it will sell off heading into earnings, not rally into earnings, because someone already knows somewhere those earnings were going to be bad, so they already started selling the stock. Kind of the same thing here. If we sell off into the delivery event, then I would expect a larger sell-off after. If we rally slightly into the delivery event, I would expect a larger rally after the delivery event. Now, the delivery event is confirmed. It's going to be noon on Thursday. So we're going to be able to react to it. We're going to be able to trade to this event. And that's good news because it will give us even more time to react this week. And then coming on Friday, you're going to see probably an even bigger news. Wall Street works with a big delay on Tesla for whatever reason. We get news long before Wall Street ever reacts to it. Just like that FSD news that we heard. FSD is entering into the Chinese market in December or January of this year. That's 0% priced into Tesla stock. That probably causes a 10% plus rally when that news does come out. Could be some point in December, could be in January, who knows? But when it does come out, it's going to cause a big move to the upside. Like, we already know that. And we can position for that before Wall Street ever realizes that's even happening. That's the beautiful thing about being a retail investor, watching these videos. You have the heads up on what's happening or going to happen with Tesla stock before Wall Street does. So you are almost getting inside information in all reality. Now, what's also exciting is Tesla's RSI is at 54.16, so it's basically neutral. That means you have a lot of room to make an upside move before you're oversold or overbought, technically, on your technicals. Other good news would be the RSI at 54. That means you could rally big time to the upside before you would be, quote unquote, overbought and due for a pullback on Tesla. That was a little bit different than what we've seen back here in, from April until about July of 2023, where Tesla stock went from 150 to 300. I would argue some of this was a short squeeze as well. But the RSI hit a high of about 90. At one point, Tesla was the most overbought stock in the NASDAQ. You're far from that today. You could easily retake 300 before the RSI even hits 70, in my personal opinion. Or it would probably be around 70 at that point. So that suggests to me we could continue to see quite the upside move here. And the MACD line, this yellow line, has been trending upwards for a while. That's good. So as the blue line. The MACD line is at 1.74 positive. The blue line, the signal line, is negative 0.72. which is slightly negative. If that can break into positive territory as well, that's another signal to the trading algorithms to start buying Tesla stock. Overall, I think we're in for quite a rally throughout the rest of this week and over the preceding multiple weeks. So that's going to do it for this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and source your comments, questions, or concerns. Let me know what you guys think about a potential short squeeze, where Tesla stock is going next, and what that option activity was signaling earlier today. We went over that in this video. 93% positive is nothing to sneeze at. That is insanely positive. We haven't seen those numbers in a very long time for Tesla stock. And it was $1.6 billion. It was a pretty large day for option activity overall. Let me know what you guys think about that down below in the comment section. If you guys would like to come trade with us live in real time, I send out my alerts every time I make a trade. Link down below in the description of this video. Come trade with us. Come join us. We will welcome you with open arms. If you have any questions, you're a beginner, intermediate, if you're experienced in trading, doesn't matter. Any level of knowledge is welcome. Come learn. That is it for this video. My name is Michael Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.